This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
I think it's a great states' rights issue, actually. Now each state can decide for themselves.
Today, the Supreme Court opened the door for legalized sports betting to expand across the country. How it could impact the Silver State tops Channel 2 News at 5 o'clock. Today, the court struck down the 1992 Professional Sports and Amateur Protection Act. Now, that barred sports gambling nearly everywhere except here in Nevada. I'm Kristen Remington.
And I'm Landon Miller. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Now, writing for the majority, Justice Samuel Alito said Congress can regulate sports gambling directly, but if it elects not to do so, each state is free to act on its own. Now, the case started in New Jersey, which has been fighting to legalize sports betting. 18 other states supported New Jersey in the lawsuit, showing that there could be a rush to join in this legalized gambling. Paul Nelson joins us now live in the studio and shows us how today's decision really could affect Nevada. And Paul, let's start with this. I'm sure the experts have an opinion. What do they say about it?
Well, it's kind of a wait and see, but the Nevada Gaming Control Board says it's really not that concerned about any negative impacts in our state. Last year, people bet nearly $5 billion on sports right here in Nevada. And of that, the sports books only won about $250 million, so it's really not that big of a moneymaker. In fact, it's just 2% of the overall gaming winnings of $11.6 billion. The American Gaming Association says people illegally bet about $150 billion on sports last year in the U.S. And while Nevada's the only state that allows legal sports wagers, experts say it's far from a monopoly.
There's been sports gambling across the entire United States. It's just been illegal all this time. And so now this gives the ability for state gaming regulators to regulate it.
The AGA says legal, regulated sports betting will push out the illegal gambling, which it says is actually a win for Nevada.
The amount of spending, the people that enjoy what Las Vegas has to offer only increases, and we expect legalized sports betting to only further strengthen Las Vegas and the state of Nevada for years to come.
The AGA says gamblers bet $10 billion on this year's NCAA tournament, and only 3% of that was done legally here in Nevada.
People were betting offshore, no consumer protections in place. Again, we're not sure how many bookies people were working with, but there was clearly a huge demand to see this happen.
Slane says 40 states could have legal sports betting in the next couple of years, and some might look to Nevada for guidance with regulations and taxes.
There's no need to reinvent the wheel here. We have a functioning market, and I hope while all states begin to customize this to work for them, I hope they look at Nevada as a strong foundation.
Experts say sports betting is a complex business, and that could be leveraged in states where companies have other properties.
I don't think it changes the dial too much for Nevada, but it allows Nevada companies, both here in the north and in the south, to look at ways to expand.
Another interesting note here is the NCAA doesn't use Las Vegas as a host site for the NCAA tournament because of sports betting. So there's speculation that if more states do legalize it, it could revisit its policy. When it comes to online gaming, it depends on how each state decides to regulate sports betting. Covering the big story live in the studio, Paul Nelson, Channel 2 News.